It is often said that governance starts at the grassroots. In Bende local government area, however, the realities on the ground tell a far more complex story. This week, we turn the spotlight on the deepening infrastructural decay in Bende local government area, examining what's failing, what still works, and what it means for the people. A long-standing political rivalry in Ukwa East local government area, Abia State, erupted into violence, leaving 2 senior council officials hospitalized. Eyewitnesses and sources allege that 5 councillors, reportedly under the direction of the State Commissioner for Information, Prince Oke Kanu, stormed the Legislative Council armed with machetes, axes, targeting leadership divisions fueled by loyalties and accusations of monetary inducement. Clerk Maxwell Ahukana and Majority Leader Honorable Obinna Ukegbu were seriously beaten, exposing deepening political tensions and turmoil within the council. Welcome to Scorecard. I am Bernard Akede. Let's get the grade.
Every great day starts with a great morning, and at Breakfast Central, we understand the importance of starting your morning right.
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., our team is dedicated to delivering a one-of-a-kind breakfast experience with vibrant conversations, detailed analysis, comprehensive reports, and on-location updates.
Breakfast Central is for you, giving you more time for breaking news, more insights, and more of the stories that matter to you.
Start your morning the right way. Breakfast Central, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Now to our main focus of the week. In August 2025, Bende local government area received about 568.3 million naira from the Federation's Account Allocation Committee. Yet, despite this substantial allocation, many are asking whether the level of development on the ground truly reflects the funds received. This week, we take a closer look at the reality. To unpack this with us this week, we have Oluwayomi Owoseye, who is the founder and chairman of the board Initiatives for Social Inclusion and Grassroots Literacy. Mr. Owoseye, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Good day to you and good day, viewers.
All right, thank you so much. Now, I'd like to start with the question that I usually ask our guests concerning, these allocations that we hear. Now, do our local governments actually have autonomy, or are they still under some form of superior control, so to speak?
Local governments in Nigeria, 774 of them, are still very much under the control of the state's governors. Unfortunately, till now, there's no local government in Nigeria that has enjoyed any form of autonomy. They are still very much held, perpetually under the grip control of the state governors.
All right. To follow up with that particular question, there are different individuals we've spoken to on this program who have given their own points of view, their own sides as to what they feel or how they feel local governments can gain some sort of autonomy, if not absolute autonomy. In your opinion, what do you think could be some of the steps that could finally liberate our local governments and, in turn, the local government chairman themselves?
So what I would say are the steps that can be taken for local governments in Nigeria to get full autonomy is to first of all look at how local government chairmen are being recruited. Okay, so there's no state in Nigeria that has the electoral umpire, where they are able to administer the election that brings in the chairman by themselves. It has to be done by state electoral, commissions. So chairman or whoever that is heading state electoral commissions in Nigeria are unpicked by the governors of these states. So, and of course, we have had, several times of how that these state electoral commissions go there to do the bidding of the governors. So we have to start from how local government chairmen are being recruited. That's the very first one. That process of election of local government chairmen has to be independent. And for it to be independent, just as we have INEC conducting the election into national offices and the subnational offices, we must have local government electoral commission who will be saddled with the responsibility of electing local government chairman and must be free from the control of the governors. So if we are able to do that, then we have actually started the journey of having complete autonomy by the local government administration. Then apart from being able to elect their local government chairmen by themselves, there also has to be a way that whatever finance that is coming to the local government actually drops in a separate account that is independent of the control of the governors of the state. In fairness to this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you recollect that sometimes in July, he dragged the 36 state governors to the Supreme Court to get complete autonomy for the local government. So the federal government won, and there was a ruling that makes it criminal for any state government to still have control of the resources of the local government. But we've had that judgment for about 3 months now. What we have today is still the fact that the ruling and the judgment has never been implemented, it has never been enforced. Up till now, the allocation is still going to JAC, Joint Allocation Account, where the state governors are still in total control. So these are the few steps that we can take that will actually drive us into that realm of getting complete autonomy for the local government.
Thank you so much. And those are quite reasonable steps indeed. First, you've mentioned the mode of selection or election of the local government chairman, and then actual independence of these particular funds. Now, speaking of funds, I'd ask you this next question. The challenges that we see across local governments in Nigeria, particularly the ones in remote areas, are quite similar. Now, for this particular local government, 568.3 million naira received in August. Surely this amount should, reflect some kind of significant improvement in that society. What do you think should have been or should be the first thing that the local government chairman of such a community should be focusing on, having received such amounts of money?
So statutorily, local government administrations have what's supposed to be their priorities, what they spend their money on, which of course range from primary health care, market and motor parks, basic education by UBEC, and all of this, environmental sanitation and all of these other things. But they will be able to spend their money if they are able to choose their priorities by themselves. So when the money gets into the account, the state government decide what the money is meant for. So you can begin to talk about the humongous amount, 533 billion or what have you. It does not translate into development because the owner of the money do not have that ability to prioritize what the money will be spent on. So that is why you would see that you hear about that very big amount of money, but then you go to that local government and you see dilapidated roads, you see structures that are terrible. In fact, you go to those grassroots, you see primary schools that have no roofs, where students have to sit on the floor, and then you begin to imagine, you begin to wonder, how come this local government has this amount of money to them, but they are not able to do these things that are supposed to be their major responsibilities, but they don't get to select or get to put the money where it is supposed to be used. So the governor of the state knows the agenda, he knows what he wants to spend the money on, and then he goes ahead to spend the money on it. So if the road in a particular local government is not the priority of the state government at the time, even though that money has been shared and it was actually sent to the local government, named after the local government, that money doesn't get to the local government. It gets to the governor, who in turn have to select what his priorities are and what agenda he wants to spend the money on.
Thank you so much. Now, let me ask a very a broader question, so to speak. Now, we know that local governments are supposed to be the arm or the level of government that is closest to the people. Yet, many people still say, and we hear this across different states particularly, they say that they do not feel the presence of government in their locality. Now, besides just the money and allocation of funds and handpicking or election or selection of local government chairmen, what would you say are our local government officials still doing wrong? Or is it that the people themselves who are not playing their part in terms of government participation?
So everybody would work according to the agenda that he has. You cannot work outside the agenda that you have. So if a particular person has been handpicked by the governor of a state to be the local government chairman, and everything that he has to do in the course of his stay as the local government chairman is in line with what the governor wants. So it does not necessarily matter if he goes to that local government to sit down in the local government office. What will he even go there to do when he is not in control of what's supposed to be done? That's why you see many of the local government chairmen, they live in the states. You are the local government chairman of my local government, for instance. I can't remember the last time I saw him in the local government. So news has it that this man has house in the state capital, and that's where he lives. It is only when the governor wants to visit the local government that you see the local government chairman in the entourage of the governor. And immediately the governor leaves, the chairman also leaves. So if we are saying their presence are not being felt in the local government, the question would be, what should they go there and do? So is it just about going to open the door of the local government secretariat and sitting down there? So if I go to local government secretariat, I go to my office as chairman, I sit down on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's nothing for me to do, I'll get tired of sitting down. So I'll just go and find something else to do. So because they don't have what they are going there to do, nothing has been given to them as agenda that will actually be on the ground for people to see. So they won't actually go to the local government to stay there. So that's why people keep saying that it's like the local government chairmen are alien even to the grassroots, to the local government area where they are supposed to administer. So if there's nothing they are going there to do, if there's no project they are going there to implement, what do we expect them to be doing? Is it to just go to the office and sit down in the office?
Mr. Owoseye, thank you so much for the brilliant insights you've given us into how you believe that local government areas or local governments actually should be run side by side the people that they are governing. But right now we're going on a quick break. But before we do that, let's take you into Bende local government actually, so that you can see from the eyes of our reporter how exactly things are running or maybe not running in that local government area. Do stay with us.
Abia State is said to be experiencing improved infrastructure in road construction, healthcare, and education. But to what extent have the rural communities partaken of these dividends? We are in Bende local government area where an estimated 200,000 residents have been confronted by various degrees of underdevelopment, leading to their questioning of how the local government resources are being spent.
They should give us our allocation, no matter anything. They should do something in Talakwi Tumbuzo. They should do something there. No road, no any track road, no anything. We are like fool.
A farmer in Awuja Akolimenyi community in Bende local government area shares some of the challenges experienced by his people.
I Bassey in 1 minute. I won't knock. My well so like I want to pan I go. Then I want to talk. What to pan also. Also is a web time in his if I had no table, it would up one. I was.
At Community Secondary School Ubibia, students learn under conditions that challenge Abia's development claims in education.
They are feeling bad and in the school compound and our class.
Farmer Luke Kalu grows rice in his community but gets overwhelmed each harvest season due to the difficulty in transporting them to get his harvest to the market.
We are one of the largest places that have a cocoa and the palm fruits, cassava, plantain, banana, and also other crops. But before we transport our crops to the market, it is very, very difficult. We would just trek, stop our children from school, then they will help us to carry the goods to the junction, the main road here.
We visited the local government headquarters to get some answers from officials about resource allocation and development priorities.
I've adopted a system where I visit the communities to ask them their need assessments. I think I have covered EQC, that is Bende South, in terms of this need assessment. And you entered that road, which is not motorable, by God's grace, will take the other portion since they've started the other way around.
We found this road project in Akolimenyi started several months ago, but now abandoned.
And they can neglect it, but on a regulation, Hamatos Babata, Abamecha, campaign, have to char her votes, Padumane, but they can't measure.
At the state level, attempts to ask about oversight of local government performance from the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs were unsuccessful. At Intalaku Health Center, staff work with minimal resources while serving hundreds of residents.
Malaria tabs and another thing every time now go campus. But I have for registration. I register after the antenatal. I give us a
In most part of Bende local government area, the community members seem helpless and could have resigned to fate over their plight, but they express measured optimism despite their frustrations.
From the beginning to the end, this is my age now. This is my 60 years old now. We have many chairmen in the local government. There's nothing that they do for us. Nothing. I so much thank God that if this government can even provide us a road.
How do we save this country?
You move from the APC to the PDP.
Therefore, listen, I'm still paying teachers in Ondo State. If Olabode just should be expelled from the party.
It's an existential imbecility, utter nonsense.
Join me, Dapo Adeboye, on Politics HQ, where Nigeria's political heartbeat is felt. Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. on News Central.
Now, News Central TV also spoke with the chairman of Bende local government area in Abia State. Let's take you to what the chairman said.
Thank you. But if you say local government received allocation, I still believe that no local government received direct funding. We are still practicing JAC. So And in terms of infrastructure in our local government, since we are still working with Jack, and most of the infrastructure that are being done in collaboration with state governments in terms of building roads and other things. So I don't think if there is any local government in Nigeria that has received direct funding. So and such, whatever we do, we collaborate. Building roads, schools, health centers, and the rest of them. And recently, we've been seeing the new health centers that are going up. In fact, we have 15 of them in Bende that is ongoing. We'll probably have renovation of schools that are ongoing. So all these things are collaborative effort, both with the local government and the states. Rome was not built in a day. And you know, the previous administration that we have in the states, I think if they had done something, at least half of what the collaborative effort, both the local government and the state, they are doing right now, at least things would have been better by now. So it is not easy for even the local government to collaborate with state and build or retrofit about 260-something health centers across the states. So, and which I said, Bende has about 15 of them. Some of them are being functionalized now. That of Omoyere in Alai, that of Ngo in Ozuakoli, they are functionalized and working now. And so many of other ones, like the one in Indiwo, by God's grace, very soon it will be functionalized. So other ones, I think the other ones will fall in the next batch, which is coming very soon. And I think we have about 900 and something of them. My approach is quite different from the usual, because since I came in, I have adopted a system where I visit the communities to ask them their need assessments. I think I have covered Ikwisi, that is Bende South, in terms of this need assessment. And so in Itumbuzo ward, we are building a processing mill there. And this processing mill is 5-in-1 machine. It washes grain and then dries it. The same thing is going on in Owoseye ward. We have Ibere ward A. That's Ezeokuto. So all this processing mill, Gary processing mill, are ready, almost ready. In terms of infrastructure, the installation of the machine, which will take the second phase. So in terms of borehole, based on need assessment, we have Mbakwa in Umime Imba ward. Because when I went there to commission a health center built by the community, they said they don't have water. The existing ones are not working. So I have to, open up another one, which is working now, and people are using it, both the hospital and the entire community. So in Ozita, we have restored this. They don't have water there. We've restored the one where the local government started for long and couldn't get water, because you have to pipe it from the stream down to where it cleans and then for their use. So all these things are what we are doing.
Right, we still have our guest with us, Mr. Owoseye. Mr. Owoseye, thank you so much for still standing by. Just before we let you go, I'd like to ask you one final question. How best do you feel that governments at the local level can actually involve people in their localities when it comes to governance matters? After all, local government is a blend of government and the people.
It will still take us back to what we have been talking about, which is for them to have autonomy. So if they have autonomy, they get their money, to themselves, then they are able to come up with budget provision for whatever project they want to do in a budget year. So when they have that, I think, for instance, let's take the Bende local governments that you are talking about as example. I think Bende local government has about 13 wards. So the chairman can go ahead and appoint each person one person from each of these wards to come together to look at the budget, to even go to do what I call needs analysis. Let people come together to tell you what exactly they want and the kind of development they want in their locality. So if we have all of these people from the 13 wards in the Bende local government, for instance, they are able to come together to present their needs. So the chairman is able to decide, okay, this is the amount of money we have, and this is how we will be able to spend it. So development about the people should come from the needs of the people. The people across the local government should be able to come together to even discuss what their problem is, for the chairman to be able to step in to make budgetary allocation and then go ahead to solve the problem. So if democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people, every form of social intervention that any tier of government wants to do, local government being our focus, it should start from the people. People should be able to voice out what their need is before anybody would say wants to provide for the need. So my advice, would be that every development intervention should start from the people. People's need must come first, then before you would say you want to attend to the need. So cut across all the 13 wards in Bende local government, there must be a representative from each ward coming together to make decision as to how they want to spend their money and what exactly they want to spend their money on, instead of somebody to sit at the state capital and decide what exactly to be done with the money that is meant for the people at the grassroots. And just as you said, local government administration is expected to be the closest to the people. It's expected to actually be on the ground to see people's problem and to be able to provide solution to the problem. So if local government is having problem, it has to be an indigenous solution that will solve that problem. And by indigenous solution, I mean that people from the grassroots where the problem exists are actually the people who can come together to decide what kind of solution they will give to the problem. And that is the solution that can be sustainable.
All right, Mr. Owoseye, thank you so much for your insights. Once again, we do appreciate this conversation that we've had. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
From one local government area to the other, the challenges are similar, and according to our guests, the solutions to these challenges are equally similar. Representatives from each ward will make up those who find solutions to the challenges in the local government, and not persons who have no idea of what exactly is happening in those areas. I'm Bernard Akede, and this is Scorecard, where every promise gets graded by citizens holding the red pen. See you next week.